How's it going, everybody? We're just waiting on Stadia Vet Gaming to get on Discord. Then we're going to do a quick little audio test and a video test real quick, then we'll start the show. Okay, he had to make a new account, so accept, and I guess I'll call him on this one. So let's try that. What up, everybody? This is your boy GMillion, and I am here with Stadia Vet Gaming. How are you?
I am doing excellent. I was just playing a little bit of another PlayStation Now game, and then had to finish. I had to get to a checkpoint before I could end it because I didn't want to have to do it again.
Yeah, I remember playing that Ground Zero game back in the day.
Yeah.
I think it was beginning of 2015. So before we get started, what do you do? I mean, who are you and what do you do on YouTube?
I am Stadia's craziest SOB, Stadia Vet Gaming. I'm on YouTube and Twitch actually, but and I stream Stadia content, and I'm starting to add PlayStation Now to my channel of games that I stream, and PlayStation Now is just going to be kind of at the night stuff that I do. During the day, when I do my shows, it's going to be all Stadia all the time. It's kind of what I started with after I rebranded my whole channel and everything when I first started out with streaming.
Oh, okay, so you said you rebranded your channel. What was it before Stadia Vet?
Before it became Stadia Vet Gaming, it was U.S. Army Veteran Gaming, and when I had that moniker, I was retro games, all retro all the time. And I streamed that on Facebook Gaming, Twitch, and YouTube. And it was everything from Atari to Nintendo to Game Boy, Super Nintendo, all the way up to, I think the most recent of the retro consoles that I would stream was PlayStation 2, which at the time, everyone's like, that's not retro. I'm like, if it's 20 years old, it's retro.
Yeah, if you readily cannot play it now on like consoles right now and can't buy it in stores, it's retro.
Yeah,
that's what that's my
it was sad. Yeah, and it was sad because as I realized that when the PlayStation 2 became a 20-year-old system, I was just like, oh, I'm old. Grow. the age and how I the times finally hit me. I was just like, God, PlayStation 2. I remember when I bought one of those brand new,
Were
and I had
you
modded
the
it.
were you the lucky ones that were able to get it at launch?
No, I did not. I think the only console I ever bought at launch was probably the Sega Dreamcast, and I paid like $500 for that thing.
Damn, that
But I
that was
also bought.
expensive
I
at the
had the
time.
yeah, and that was. I think that was Sega's most. That was like PlayStation 3 pricing. But I had paid $500 at GameStop because I bought a Dreamcast, two controllers, the two VMUs, and a couple of games. And even then, that was still, I think, was still kind of pricey compared to. Well, maybe not really. I mean, yeah, I guess if you think about what consoles cost nowadays, and
Mhm.
let's say the Dreamcast came out years ago, so that was setting the stage for Sony to take over the massive price gouging that they do.
Now, do you still have your Dreamcast?
I do not. I unfortunately I don't. The oldest system I have is going to be besides to play most of the retro stuff that I play when I still stream it on the because I did do a throwback Thursday to my old retro days, and I did Dreamcast, and that was just using an emulator.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, all I have oldest wise would be a Wii U, which we all know how that Nintendo almost killed themselves with that one. They almost pulled the I think with the Wii U, it's like Nintendo almost pulled a Sega by destroying themselves, like Sega did with the Dreamcast.
Yeah, and I was kind of hoping that they would, not just to be not just to be an asshole about it, but like I think Nintendo games would sell a lot more if they were on the big two.
Yeah,
Because right
I
now a
still,
lot.
I, st- I still think that Nintendo's has got a plan. Like, I don't see them going into cloud gaming. I know that, like, people like Anthony and now your mama knows, and some of these other people that are like, well, they have cloud games. They have that control game. I was like, that's not cloud gaming.
Yeah.
I don't think that they're going to stray from console. But what would be awesome is if they really wanted to, when cloud gaming really takes off, Google's going to be up there, Sony's going to be up there, and Microsoft. Nintendo's going to be like, oh crap, we got left in the dust. Or I could see them partner with someone. They're not going to partner with Sony or Microsoft. That's their competition. But what would be awesome is if they partnered with Google.
But
Because
aren't they already partnering with someone? I forgot what the company's called.
I heard, but if I'm not sure. Like, I mean, I don't know if it's
Because
speculate.
I don't think that's like actual Nintendo technology what they're doing.
Yeah, I don't know what. I know they partnered with someone to get that cloud-based control game to play or whatever it is, but I don't know. I don't think anybody really knows. Nintendo is probably the only gaming company I have ever heard of that can actually keep their stuff kind of on secret. Like, you don't know until Nintendo tells you, and that's when they want to tell you, because Sony will leak stuff out all day long. Microsoft's really good at that. Google's good at that. Apple's good at that. Nintendo will shoot you on sight if you leak their information out.
Yeah, I'm surprised no one's dying about this whole Switch Pro nonsense that's been going on for the past week.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, the Switch Pro was a thing like last year also.
Yeah, but
I mean,
now it's like really ramping up, and I just bought one too, and I'm like, well, shit. Well, lucky for me, I bought a special edition one, so I don't feel too bad.
The last special edition Nintendo thing I bought was the neon the see-through green N64, and then the Pikachu edition N64.
Oh, okay.
That was the only special edition consoles I've ever bought.
When I was a kid, when I bought my 64, I was just happy I got a green controller because when I was a kid, green was my favorite color. We got a N64 pretty early on. I knew it was after GoldenEye came out.
I loved GoldenEye. That was like the best thing ever.
Yeah, I knew it was that because my brother got that for his birthday, and I got Mario Kart. Speaking of GoldenEye, did you play the leaked version of it?
I did not. That was the only one I didn't. I'm all over the place when it comes to gaming, whether it's retro stuff, the new stuff, Stadia. Stadia's never like. I love when people tell me, didn't you hear usually it's not people telling me, it's I read the articles or I read people's comments on Twitter and Reddit about how Stadia is dead, and I'm just like, man, for a dead company, a dead platform, they sure are getting a lot of my money lately. I know 2 days ago I bought FIFA as soon as it came out, and before FIFA I bought 3 more Stadia games, and then I bought 6 games within the last 2 days because I bought another one today. I ended up buying a Doom Eternal standalone, which is kind of nice that they have, like, instead of buying the whole game,
Mm-hmm.
you can just buy these add-ons that are literally standalone. So you don't actually even have to own. I don't own Doom Eternal, but I can buy the standalone.
Okay.
I don't know if they're like seasons, but it was on sale, and I keep buying things that are on sale. So for a dead platform, I don't know what they're doing, but they're selling. They sure are making a lot of money out of me.
I know. As soon as I get paid tonight, I'm dropping 40 on that Saints Row the Third. The only reason why I haven't.
That one is so fun to play on Stadia.
Yeah,
There's a lot of good stuff on Stadia. Like it's fun to watch them keep getting more games, and people keep complaining about this and that with it. I'm just like, nobody, like, it's like nothing they do can be good enough for them. I'm like, you complain they don't have enough games, and they're dropping games left and right now. You complain about, and I know a lot of it was just everybody felt the whole community fell apart because they shut down their studio. I'm just like, to me, when I heard the news that they closed their first party studio, I was like, okay, did they have a game that came out that I was going to buy? I didn't know they were even. I mean, I knew they were making stuff, but I was like, how many games have they already made that I'm playing currently? None.
Yeah.
I don't really care if they were popping games out already, they wouldn't have shut down. The fact that they didn't make anything, and I just want games on the platform that I like to play, it didn't faze me none. I know it fazed other people.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just like, give me games that I like to play. I'll be happy.
And someone said Saints Row the Third is great, and I would totally agree with you on that one. It's probably my favorite Saints Row game.
Yeah, it plays. I've streamed that one a lot on there, and that one plays so nice.
Okay, I gotta watch your stream. I need to know if it's 60 FPS or 30 because I'm like,
I was getting 60 when I played it.
Okay, yeah, then
I've gotten a lot of 60 when I play. Yeah, I've gotten a lot of this. Most of it because I'll get people. If somebody asks me what's the frame rate, I'm like, I don't know. So then I just Control Tab and I turn on the stream analytics thing, and I'm like, oh, see, I'm running 60 frames per second. So, if you're not getting it, I don't. Maybe there's a setting or something you didn't do. I don't know.
Because I could probably look back at your stream and because I could tell 30 or 60, no problem. But when it comes to
there are a lot of those that are.
Yeah, when it comes to like 120 to 140 to 200, then it's harder to tell.
Yeah.
That. So you were covering retro games when you started. What got you into Stadia?
Google. I'm a Google fan. I don't want to call myself a fanboy because I have Facebook technology. I got a Facebook portal. I've got Amazon devices. I've got Google devices. I just like technology. I'm a tech nerd, so that's literally what I have. I've got Roku smart TVs, but I've got a Roku smart TV with a Google Chromecast with TV. So
okay.
that was the biggest thing that hopped on. Plus, I never really got to like every platform I've ever played, I was late to the party. I never got to really be one of those that could be like, hey, I was there at the beginning. And when I actually got into the beta testing of Stadia before it was even a thing, when they were just doing when it was Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I don't remember what the name was, but they were literally testing it out, and you got that they had the select few that got to test it, and they said, don't tell anybody what you're doing. So I was one of those that got to try it out, and I didn't really know what. I just was like, all right, Google's got a gaming system that they could be working on. I don't know what they're doing. It's just streaming a game on a Chromebook. That works for me. So I tried it out, but when as I was doing my retro stuff, I did some very early streams of NBA 2K20. That was, I think, one of my first games I bought.
Okay.
I bought that, and then I had the Tomb Raider. And you can tell, like, at the earliest video that I did of Stadia, I have a tripod set up. It's aimed at the TV, and you can see the screen. Like, I'm zooming in, trying to angle it and stuff, and I'm sitting in the background talking. And then as I've learned, and it's taken me a while to figure out the best ways to like with the stream and software and all that. And so my progression has slowly gotten better. And it started even when I was in retro, I was just trying to figure out the best ways. And a lot of what I learned, my techniques and tactics and stuff, I just picked up from other streamers. I'll watch and I don't want to say acquire, but I guess I take bits and pieces of what everybody does and just kind of jumble it all together.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. Like, you're supposed to take the best parts of like what streaming is today, then put your own spin on it.
Yeah, and I mean, and even when I went full time on on Stadia, I wasn't the crazy guy that everybody's come to love. I was pretty much transitioning out of a retro guy where I would just kind of joke around and talk. And then I slowly, as I made friends within the Stadia community, which is probably the greatest community ever, second only to the SBC community. I that personality kind of took over with the crazy person, and I'm starting to game with others and build that rapport with people. So then the Stadia's, I just was like, all right, well, I'm Stadia's craziest SOB because I just kind of jump around and I just shoot the crap out of people and I don't follow the rules. So, and I'm like, and I've just kind of grown with that personality. And when I'm on camera or I'm talking to people within the community, I just go with that personality. That takes over. And when I'm at home, I've got while I am on paper, military says I'm batshit crazy, so I can stick with that and I can back that one up. But I do have that persona, that on camera persona. When the camera's rolling and the audio's going, I'm all over the place, and I try to keep that up just because it's fun.
See, with me personally, with single player games, it's hard for me to be like doing all this crazy stuff because I want to get the story. But I love single player games more than multiplayer games, and I notice for me, I cannot be bad shit crazy while playing a game like Persona, playing a game like Judgment or something like that, So when
I tone it down if it's a single player game, and I do that on Stadia. If I'm playing a single player game, I tone it down. But when I'm communicating, when I'm talking to the chat and things like that, I keep that persona going. It's going all day, the whole stream. It's different. I guess it's different because I play like Metal Gear Solid 5. They want you to be quiet and sneak your way in, and I don't do that. I still just barge right in, guns blazing. But it's more. I like single player games because I grew up playing that. I was never really a big fan of multiplayer games. But then I'm just like, all right, and when I play multiplayer, I've grown. I think the consoles is what kind of steered me away from that. And then the Stadia community, especially with multiplayer games, it's just everybody's so friendly. Mm-hmm. And that was what drew me to Stadia, was because I love that about us as a community, is we're just so, I think it's because we're so small still, and we're still, the community and the platform is only a year old. We're still in that infancy period as growing as a community, that you just make friends wherever you go. And that's the really cool thing about it.
Now, so were you a founder of Stadia?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I signed up not the day it went out, or the day they started taking the pre-orders. Mm-hmm. I was probably like a week later, but yeah, that's why the Stadia event game. I did actually have it under. I think I had to contact Google to have the Stadia people rename my Stadia name twice, because it was, I don't even know what I think I had it under one name. It was then it changed over to the U.S. Army Veteran Gaming because I was going to keep that. Mm-hmm. And I must have been streaming a game and someone's like, "Oh man, your name is really long to say." So I was like, "All right." So I was like thinking what to rename and rebrand that I could make it look cool and tie it in with Stadia, and then Stadia Vet was born.
Oh, okay.
Because it incorporated the Stadia and incorporated me being a veteran and my love of gaming. So I just was like, squished it together, and boom, Stadia Vet was born.
So when I got my founder, I'm like, you know what? I wanted to be one of those people that could get their actual name on a platform, because I always joined a platform late. Like when it came to Xbox Live, I came in there like three years later after the 360 came out. The PlayStation Network, same thing. But with a platform like Stadia, I'm like, I could get a name and there's a good chance it would be there. So I chose my name. My name is Garrett. Unfortunately, someone chose the one with 2 T's, so I settled the one with 1 T. So my name is actually super easy to find. It's just Garrett with 1 T. And I'm like, yeah, I got that. I got that off my bucket list.
Nice.
So, when Stadia came out, what games were you playing on there?
Initially, I think I was just playing the free stuff. I think it's taken a while. Like a lot of it was basketball, and then it was Tomb Raider. but I was still doing G4. I don't think I really pushed a lot into it until, God, I don't even really think I shifted completely until like January, when well, I guess a lot of Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I've done 40 plus episodes of that, I think, or 30 or 40. So I put a lot of time into that. And some people were like, how many hours you got? I was like, I don't know, like 40 or 50 hours in the game. And they're like, wow, I got like 2,000. Like, wow, do you do anything else besides play Odyssey? Because that was, out of all of the Assassin's Creeds that are on Stadia, I think Odyssey has always been my favorite because I honestly like Odyssey more than I do Valhalla, and I really haven't put enough time into Valhalla to really enjoy it. But Odyssey was just so the graphics and the way it ran and everything, it just was so nice to look at different scenes. You climb up on a thing when you do that synchronization, and you're looking over the water, and then it pans out. It just looks so damn beautiful. And I'm just like, it makes you appreciate that. I'm playing on, I could be playing on a crappy ass Celeron Chromebook,
Right.
or I could be playing on my phone, and it still looks that good. And I'm just like, and that was right there was like why I went full time with Stadia. It was games like that could take advantage of that with the lack of hardware that I had, or I had an old iMac that should never have been able to run things like that. And I could live stream it, and it just looks so darn pretty that I'm just like, I forget that I don't have a gaming rig. That like I'm playing a game in the cloud that my controller's connected via Wi-Fi, and I should not be seeing that quality of stuff. It should not. I don't understand Google's voodoo magic going on in the background that makes it look that good.
Now, when you were playing Odyssey, were you Cassandra or Ezio's?
I was Cassandra.
Okay, that's a good choice because she did a lot better performance than Ezio's. I could tell you that.
I tried Axios. I just didn't get into it. I think I had Axios set up on the PC version, so I tried it out on GeForce Now, and I was like, after playing for so long with Cassandra on Stadia, and they don't sync together like Watch Dogs does and some of these other ones. So I was just like, oh, I can't do this. I was at like a level. It shows like when you get your player ranked, like Cassandra, I think I had her at like super high level. And then I go to Axios, who was like a level 3, and I was like, oh my God, I died like 5 times in a row. And I'm like, oh, why doesn't he move? And then I was like, oh yeah, his level is so low. I'm not used to that.
Yeah. Like Cassandra, for me, she does a lot better performance. She got a lot of awards and all that. And it definitely shows in Odyssey. So what didn't you like about Valhalla? Because for me, it came out at the wrong time for me.
Yeah, I think for me it was, I don't know, it just didn't. I think the way it looked, the gameplay, I like the gameplay. I like the storyline. Like I said, I'm a history nerd, so that's one of the things that's always drawn me to. Before I ever played any of the Assassin's Creed, I hated it. I just thought it was dumb. Like I never understood what what was good about it. And then when I started playing it, I was like, oh wait, this is all like historical stuff. I mean, it's not real, but it's based on historical things, and every game and the storylines were so intricate. And I was just like, all right, now I see what everybody likes about it. Like I've played them all. Well, the first one I ever played was 3, was the when the Revolutionary War one. Then I went to 4, and by far 4 is probably my favorite because it's pirates. You get to sail a ship and fight, and I'm like, that's what I love. But Valhalla, I like the story. I really did appreciate the storyline. I just didn't like. I guess it was just the graphics to me. The way the visuals kind of didn't look as good and as Odyssey. I think Odyssey just spoiled me with how the visuals in that versus, and it looked like Valhalla just kind of skimped out on it as in some scenes. I don't know. It was just, maybe it's just me. I'm not sure if that's me or if other people thought that.
Maybe they updated it. We'll see. I guess you're just gonna have to see.
I haven't played it. I know they've got some updates coming out for it. And I've watched Blake Stadia play it a lot, which is always fun to watch because he's about as crazy as I am when it comes to games like that. So, But yeah, so I mean, I haven't like I played Marvel's Avengers with Anthony and Spectre earlier today on his stream, and I was amazed at how nice that looked. I mean, I had some issues staying with the gameplay not booting me out, and I don't know. I don't think it was the game. I think it was just there was something going on because.
Right.
But it amazed me from when I played the game, from when I first bought it back in when did it come out? I think September last year to now, and I beat the storyline in like 8 episodes of live streaming it, and then I didn't touch it after that because I just was like, now it's multiplayer. I'm kind of bored, and I was like, oh, the story's over. Now what do I do? So I started playing other games, and this was the first time I'd gone back to it since they'd done updates and behind the scenes work, and I was amazed at how nice it looked and how crisp everything was then. So, I might have to put some more time into Valhalla with some streams and just kind of showcase it. But it's definitely fun watching cloud gaming advance, whether it's Stadia, it's, PlayStation Now. I don't really put a whole lot into GeForce Now right now. I do know that GFN's going to be doing some behind the scenes updates. They're working on a few things that are going to be rolling out by the end of the year. So they've got their things going on. Sony doesn't announce anything. So I had no clue that PS Now was running as well as it's been. And Stadia, I don't really think Stadia is announcing anything anymore because I think they don't want to hear the feedback. I mean, let people talk. And I never really took what they would say with a grain of salt, like anything else that leaks out when it comes to anything Google. I take it with a grain of salt. I make my own judgment. I don't, unless somebody's live streaming something to show me it, then I will believe it. But if you're writing a blog or, an article about something that leaked out, I don't care because it may be bad for you. It may work for me. You may have had a bad day and your majority of, and my thing is with Stadia, with all the people that still hate on Stadia to this day, is they're all console people. They're either console people or they still have not tried to play Stadia. Yeah. And they don't want to because it's something different. And the fact that it runs as well as it does scares the crap out of them that they might actually like it. And then they're going to have to flip. Then they're going to have to change their tune. And they don't want to do that.
All I know is when Judgment comes out, I'm going to stop the podcast and just play Judgment. That's what I'm going to do. Because
there's a lot of fun games coming out there. I was on Stadia Source and they're talking about like the typing game, and that was just like, I could do without a typing game. That's not my style. I like the action things. I like the military games. Will I play Call of Duty? I will probably play it and stream the story mode if Call of Duty ever drops. If it's just like Warzone, I won't even touch it.
No, Warzone is just a lot of problems. With Warzone.
Yeah, if Grand Theft Auto 5, if GTA, when and if GTA 5 ever makes it to Stadia, will I buy it and play it? Probably. I mean, I'm not going to say I won't buy it because I know I will. They'll put a sale and I'll end up spending money on it. Is it something I'm hoping that they come out with soon? No. I've got GTA 5 on Stadia. That's Watch Dogs 2 in San Francisco. That's Watch Dog Legion. Then I can go to London. I can do the same thing by going to hopping in Red Dead Redemption. Now I'm in the Old West. That's like 3 different places that I can go that are open world environments. Grand Theft Auto 5 is literally, like 3 or 4 different open world locations you can go in one game. This just happens to be like I have to use 3 or 4 games to do that. So it's still, to me, I've got enough games, and then if I really want 4, I can throw in Saints Row. I don't do missions half the time in any of those games. I usually get sidetracked with my attention span by blowing things up or taking a tank in Saints Row and just going on a morning Sunday stroll and drive my tank down the street and blow everything in sky high.
They might release it when they release the next gen versions of the game, because technically
that's what I've heard.
Because that's technically what happened with Red Dead. They released it a little bit after the PC version did. Partly because Stadia came out around the time the PC version of Red Dead came out. So that's my theory. Just take that with a grain of thought, grain of salt.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think anybody really knows. The only people that know when GTA 5 is going to come out is Rockstar and Stadia, and I'm sure they have something. Just like I'm sure Google already knows. Stadia, the people within Stadia probably already know when Call of Duty's coming to the platform, because I can't believe that they don't, especially since Google and Stadia have a partnership with Activision.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really have a whole. I don't even know if we have any Activision games on the platform yet.
Technically, Sekiro.
Right. I mean, and they have a partnership. My guess is they're not going to drop. Call of Duty will come, but it's probably not going to be until Activision releases the new one. Whatever the new one that comes out this year, that'll be the one that'll be out for, whether they put it on the old consoles or it's just a PS5 and Xbox. But that's the one that I'm betting will end up being on Stadia. I don't think it's going to be the one that came out last year. I think they're going to just focus on finishing it. You may as well, it makes more sense than why work on rewriting an entire game to port over to Stadia, that especially if you're already working on a new Call of Duty. And then they've already leaked out some information saying they're working on a new one.
Yeah. The problem is they're making Call of Duty a connected universe now. So like Warzone, Modern Warfare, and Cold War are all connected. Yeah. So you could rank up, like, I'm doing a road to 200 right now for Prestige Master. I don't know why I'm doing it. I'm just insane like that. But like my rank, I could carry my rank over to Modern Warfare and do like high ranking game modes in there. That's what I've been doing all day today. And that like shortened down my time. So they're going to have to figure out how to get Warzone, all the other Call of Duties in there at the same time, so it could have the connected universe.
Right.
If not,
and maybe that's
gonna be gimped version of Call of Duty right there.
Yeah, and that could also be why we don't have it on the platform. They may come out with a bang on Stadia and be like, "Hey, guess what? We're gonna drop we're gonna do Call of Duty. You got the new one, and then they're just gonna release them all. Mm-hmm. They're gonna do the new Call of Duties." The new one that comes out this year will be on all the platforms, but they may just drop that one along with the older ones on Stadia at the same time. Yeah, I mean, nothing says go out. We're going to go all out with show everybody up what Stadia is all about by dropping like 3 Call of Duty games at once.
Mm-hmm. Or what they could do is just release a new one. Then when season 1 rolls around, that's when they usually connect all the universes together. And that's when Warzone's going to come out, and that's when Cold War and Modern Warfare may come out. That's going to be the big issue with Call of Duty, because they're going to have to figure out how to release 3 years of Call of Duty at the same time, unless the universe is going to be gimped on that version,
Yeah.
But so did you dabble into like the Xbox 360, the PS3, PS4, and Xbox One generations, 7th and 8th generations?
Yeah, I had briefly with the PS3. I really wasn't a big PS3 fan. I kind of went from when I had after Dreamcast, I went to PlayStation 2 or PlayStation 1. I had PS2, and then from there I went, instead of going PS3, I jumped to Xbox. I had the Xbox original. Then I upgraded to the 360. I was with that forever. Had the Xbox One, the One S, the One X. Then I jumped over from there to the PS4. I traded that in for a PS4 Pro, and I still have my PS4 Pro, which right now just kind of collects dust. But I was really sad with the Xbox. When I had my original Xbox gamer tag, I had that from the 360 all the way. I got that set up. I picked that name out. I had that name from 2008 until probably like a year ago when I finally changed it. And I was like, man, that name is like 12 years old. And I'm finally releasing it into the wild to change it over. And I did the whole Mixer thing. I streamed on Mixer, every now and then. Mostly when I was in the retro is when I was streaming Mixer. But at the time I was I'm still a Microsoft fanatic. Like I had the Windows phones, I had the Lumia phones, so I did all of that stuff. So I was always a supporter of Microsoft when they first came in, because I had the Xbox original, mm-hmm. and I watched how they struggled initially and was losing money, and everyone was like, Xbox is going to die anyways. You know, they're never going to be around in a couple of years, and it's like watching a repeat of history with Google coming into the mix,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody saying the same thing, and I'm just like, yeah, you know what? Microsoft heard this before. Everybody said Microsoft was going to die upon entry because they were jumping in on video games at the time that basically it was Sega and Sony's world. It was Sony and Nintendo's world, and you couldn't just jump in and try to do something. So, and yet here we are today in 2021, and look who it is. It's consoles is Nintendo still, Sony and Microsoft, and then in the cloud world, Google shook things up, and yet they're still here, and they're still gonna. I don't see them going anywhere. I think cloud world, it's gonna be your big three. It's Google, Microsoft, and Sony. So Google is just the Nintendo of the cloud. I mean, that's all what it is. It's they're doing their thing, and I'm just amazed that it took Google this long to get into video games, knowing that the video game industry was like a multi-billion-dollar industry. It dumbfounded me that they waited this long.
I don't think they had the right people and the right technology back then, because I think they were trying to figure out, how to, perfect YouTube, because I think there's like a lot of the same technology behind YouTube going into Stadia. I think they were just trying to figure out how to take the same technology but put it behind a video game,
Well, yeah. I mean, I kind of saw that the writing was on the wall when they had the YouTube gaming app, the separate YouTube gaming app, and then they just got rid of it. They killed that off and basically took all of YouTube gaming and shoved it into YouTube. Now, I did happen to see an article on 9 to 5 Google on the latest update to Android 12. They actually have a gaming mode, which is really cool. So it's like you can put your phone in gaming mode, and it has like a couple of it shows like your frames per second and some of these other things, streaming stuff. And then it has two big squares, one on the left and one on the right. And the one on the right, you push it and it goes it live streams. It just turns on your YouTube live streaming. So
that's cool.
Obviously, by reading within the lines on that, and they said like right now, if you push it, like I guess they must have tested it out over there, and they said when you push it, it just goes to your YouTube live streaming on the mobile part. But what they looked at when they dug around more is it looks like they're going to be integrating that with like Stadia. So it's just going to be a built-in feature into Android now, like the YouTube live streaming feature that Stadia has. They're going to kind of build that in, so they had like Android phones actually have a gaming mode. So you just swipe down, hit gaming mode, and boom, you can start live streaming right from your phone. But there's speculation: is it going to be a Pixel only thing? Is it going to go to other, everybody else? I don't really. I mean, that would be kind of cool if it was a Google exclusive. That would set them apart from like everybody else.
See, but
like,
that's my main issue with Android, because you got the Google version, you got the Samsung version, the LG version, and like all the other ones are kind of bloated. But like the Samsung phones have like the best technology, and the Google phones are kind of like middle of the road technology, Well,
Pixels were really nice up until the Pixel 4. The 3X, I swear, I think the 3XL was still the best one. I've thought about I almost bought the Pixel 5, but I'm not willing. I have the Note 20 right now. I'm not willing to downgrade a processor to go to the Pixel 5. I have the Note 20 Ultra has, I think it has the 865 processor in it. The Pixel 5 has a 765, so it's like that is disgustingly slow. But the way Google optimizes everything, you would never even know. I don't want that. If I'm going to buy a Pixel, I want premium. Like what I miss is the days of the Nexus phones that Google made. Like those, you could, if you had the Nexus, what was it, the 5X, the Nexus 5. Yeah, like there were some Nexus phones that they had two different ones. And you had the mid-grade, and then you just had they had the premium one. And I don't know if, like, I wish they would take the best parts of the Nexus and put them into the Pixel. I love the Pixel phones when I had them, but the Nexus just put those to shame. It's like kind of like with like Android phones in general. Nokia to this day, like when Microsoft first acquired the Lumias, the Lumia 920 was, or the 920 was the best one I think they ever had. That was such a nice phone. And I had the Lumia 950 that had Windows 10 Mobile, which was terrible, but it was, I mean, the hardware in it was better than the Pixel 5. The hardware in the Lumia 950 and the 950 XL, and that phone came out like 3 or 4 years ago, is still better than what's in the Pixel 5. Yeah, I don't understand Google. Google just makes my brain hurt sometimes when I think of the things that they do. But
yeah,
so does Microsoft. So does Sony. Just technology.
Google should have locked down their platform. If you want to use their software, make it stock, because stock Android with the best hardware makes a very good phone.
And I think they were trying to set themselves apart from Apple. I mean, right. They're kind of which is weird because they've always been the open source, do what you want with, and now they're slowly turning their ecosystem not full on Apple, but they're still kind of close. But it is nice to see everything kind of tie together, Chrome OS, Android, and then their secret operating system that they're working on in the background, that every couple of years they leak information out and people start like, hey, what's that Fuchsia OS they're working on? Well, eventually they're going to do something that's going to replace Android. That's inevitable. I mean,
yeah.
But what it is, who knows?
Right. See, with the Samsung phones, like after a while, they just slow down for me. Maybe it's just because I am always on my phone. I always overuse them. I'm always on YouTube or doing something.
Yeah, and it's technology. I mean, like my laptop I bought brand new. I bought a Dell G7 17-inch laptop with it's got a GeForce RTX 2070, which obviously is old technology. It's a second generation RTX because they've got the 3090s and 80s and 70s. But I'm just like, I stream cloud games, so having a RTX 30 series graphics card is unnecessary for me. Yes, it sounds cool, but what I'm streaming isn't going to use any of the hardware. What I stream now barely puts literally the only thing that uses the hardware is probably the streaming software.
Yeah, and since you have the 2070, you can use technology like NVENC and stuff like that.
Yep. And I use that with Stream Elements to do my streams.
Yeah,
and it does make a difference.
Yeah, and that's all you need. Like me personally, like I would love to have the latest graphics card. One, you can't find them. Two, I don't play enough PC games for me to adjust, adjust the cost of me spending $500 on a 3080. Then I have to upgrade my processor because my processor is a couple years old. It's only a quad core. Then I may have to update my power supply because I don't know if my power supply is going to run the new graphics card. So I'm like, well, at this point, might as well just buy a new PC.
Well, yeah, I mean, I had a Mac Mini, a late 2012 Mac Mini that I was using. And when I was looking at upgrading my computer to actually get a gaming laptop, I was just like, I had narrowed it down to a couple. I was looking at a Lenovo. I looked at the MSI. I was actually going to buy an MSI, but Best Buy didn't have them in stock. So I ended up going with the Dell, and I've had wonderful success with this.
Okay.
I've had no issues. I didn't even, and as well as this thing runs, I have left, I use in the past because I used to build computers and all of that when I was younger. The first thing I did when I bought a brand name computer is I uninstalled all of it. I deleted the partitions, everything off of it, all the recovery crap, wiped it all, put a clean, fresh install of Windows, and just download. I had already downloaded drivers, so I would manually install everything. This thing runs so nice. I literally leave everything on, all the Dell bloatware, all of that, and it doesn't slow down at all. I also got this one because it has a 300 hertz display, which is kind of nice to have. It does use a little bit more of the battery, but I also, because the way I do things with streaming and gaming, it's plugged in all the time.
Right. And I wish I had
the battery
a 300 hertz monitor. Trust me. I wish I did.
I mean, it's a night. The one I was looking at. I was looking at replacing it with a Dell. It was a 15-inch. The 15.6-inch Dell had the same graphics, but it was a 4K screen. So I was like, oh, that'd be nice. But this one has the HDR 10, so it supports the HDR stuff, which I don't use anything that has that.
Mm-hmm.
But it does come in handy if I'm watching a movie. If I want to watch a movie on this thing will make it look like I'm watching it on my 4K TV. With that HDR turned on and all of that.
So,
but when I've run this, I've looked at the specs when I'm just using it.
mm-hmm.
It's got the i7 10th gen. It's a 2.6 gigahertz. But when I'm running it normally, and I don't think I've overclocked anything, I'm averaging my normal speed is I'm running at like 4. It's running at like 4 to 4.5 gigahertz. So it just maintains a steady 4 gigahertz speed. So like everything just runs so freakishly smooth.
That's good. Like, are you more of a laptop guy or a desktop guy?
I used to be desktop, but with my knees and stuff now, I've got kids. It's also, I think I've transitioned to a laptop person because it is nice to be able to pick up my laptop, go upstairs when my kids are annoying the shit out of me, and stream up there. And if I need to come back downstairs, then I can just sit. And the other reason I bought a laptop was because with me coming up in like 2 weeks, or 12 days, like I'm having major knee surgery. So I'm going to be stuck on a couch recovering. So it's nice I won't be able to bend my knee for probably 3 or 4 months after that. So I won't be able to sit at a desk comfortably. So instead I have a laptop, which I can just sit and game on. And I don't this thing runs so nice streaming Stadia. Like every stream I do, I run off of Wi-Fi. And almost everybody you talk to, I can guarantee is going to say, oh, you should never run live stream playing cloud games on Wi-Fi. That's just blasphemy. You can't do that. I'm like, well, I can. And I bet you can't tell the difference.
So are you running off gigabit internet or do you have like a...
My internet speeds are, well, I pay for a 1 gig internet. The average if I have my laptop hardwired in, I'll get about 960 meg. Download speed 60 up. On Wi-Fi, I'm getting 400 to 500 meg download and 60 meg up. But the Wi-Fi that's in the laptop is a Wi-Fi 6, and my router is Wi-Fi 6, so it does make a difference.
Okay, yeah.
Running on the 5 gigahertz.
See, with your situation, it's okay to run off Wi-Fi. With my situation, I have 170 down and 10 up. So, like, I have...
live streaming's a little bit harder for you to do.
Yeah.
Like gameplay, I would say gameplay. Now, direct streaming probably wouldn't be too bad.
It wouldn't be too bad. And streaming is not that hard for me because I figured out, like, if you know the bit rate you should stream at, you can get yourself some good streams on some crappy internet. So
see, like mine, when I got with every other computer I've had, I've only been able to stream on YouTube. When I bought this, I was, because of the graphics card in it and my internet speeds and the laptop having a Wi-Fi 6 card built in, it made it so much easier to stream because when like OBS Studios auto configures it or Streamlabs would Streamlabs, I guess, in Gamecaster, all of those softwares auto configure. They put my bit rate, Streamlabs and OBS Studio wanted me to use 10,000 kilobits per second. And I'm like, well, Twitch only allows a max of 6,200. So I have mine at 5,800 is what I set it at. But I stream to 2 platforms. I stream to Twitch and YouTube every stream I do, and that's at 1080p. So I'm splitting that signal to 2 platforms at the same time. Both of them are getting 1080p streams, and you couldn't. I've watched some of my PlayStation now. I've watched some of my Stadia, and you would never know unless I was like, "Hey, I'm streaming this off of Wi-Fi." That I'm not doing something like that when it looks so nice.
Are you affiliate or partner on Twitch?
I'm a Twitch affiliate. Okay. I don't have enough to get Twitch. When I started streaming, I started on Facebook Gaming. I got into their Level Up program, and then I jumped over to Twitch. And I worked my butt off. I got over to Twitch affiliate status. And then I was like, all right, well, I did that. Let's move to YouTube. And YouTube took a little bit longer, but, within like a year, I think I got into the YouTube partnership program. And now I just kind of and I stopped streaming on Twitch. I hadn't been on Twitch in like 6 months, and I went back and looked, and I was like, holy crap, I have like 900 followers. I was like, people have been following my channel, and I don't even stream on there.
See,
and then as soon as I got the new laptop, I was like, all right. So now I've been streaming, and I'm close. My goal is right now by the summertime, I would love to be able to hit 1,000 followers on Twitch to go along with my whatever. I don't even remember. I'm almost at 1,400 subscribers on YouTube, but so I don't stream on Facebook Gaming anymore. It's the problem with Facebook Gaming is they are their own thing. So you have to use a Facebook chat bot. You can't edit things. And, I use Restream to stream to Twitch and YouTube. Well, Restream has this really cool thing. It's this relay feature that relays your chat. So if somebody on like Duke Games will watch me on Twitch or Dr. Spaceman, and they're like, hey, and if, Collins Dynasty is watching me on YouTube, then Dr. Spaceman on Twitch can be like, hey, Collins. And Collins will see that on YouTube, and it'll say it came from Twitch. And then Collins can say, hey, back, and Dr. Spaceman can see that as well. So it sends it back, but they don't Facebook doesn't allow anybody else to play like that. They don't want to, They want you to just use their stuff. So I was like, well, I'm going to stream on your servers then.
Right.
Twitch and YouTube it is.
Technically, Twitch is very exclusive too. So I'm thinking once someone hits partner, they're going to be a little bit more strict on that. I don't think they really care.
Yeah, I think they are as well. I don't really care if I, even if because I know I have the followers, I've met every requirement to get Twitch partnership except the average views is the only thing. I'd have to maintain an average of 3 concurrent viewers every time. And then I would, or whatever it is. I don't know exactly what I'm missing on there. 75 viewers. That's what it is.
Okay.
I'd have to have an average of 75 viewers every, for that. And I'm not worried about that. Like, affiliate status is all I need. Even if I had 75, I probably would not apply for the partnership because I have YouTube. I'm in the YouTube partnership program. I like Google. I like Twitch. I like having the affiliate status to get like subscribers and things like that, but not have the strictness that comes with their partnership. And I've seen what happens. You could be following the rules and still get banned or lose your partnership on there. YouTube, I can contest things if I need to, and I usually appeal stuff all the time when not for like content violation. Usually it's for copyright violations with music, and then it gets overturned almost immediately half the time. Or I trim it out and then I don't worry about it.
Yeah, like with Twitch, a female could have a hot tub stream almost naked, and if you take off your shirt, you're banned.
Yep.
Or you could do nothing in your banned. Like, did you hear about the Minecraft streamer that got banned because Twitch thought they had an appropriate name, and his name ended up being...
it amazes me with what goes on Twitch. So I'm just like, that's why I like YouTube. Yeah. But I've always been a YouTube supporter, especially once I got into the partnership program, because the tools that YouTube gives you, especially when it comes to the music stuff, when the DMCA stuff started really kicking in, it was just like, I don't have that problem on YouTube. If there's music in there and I need to remove it, guess what? I can trim it out and it goes away.
Yep. And let's see. Colin says Google all day. And I would have to agree with you on the YouTube and the streaming part. Twitch is, I don't know, it's its own thing.
Yeah.
So, we're heading over an hour, and we're supposed to do our stream. So, what games on Stadia or any other platforms are you anticipating?
I'm just looking forward to when they get some. I know that the K's I can't think of the name of it. It's K's. It's like Kaz. It's a bunny. It's a rat, like this purple rabbit thing game that they've got coming out. It's more of a 90s retro style. It reminds me of Jazz Jackrabbit back in the day. And that's one of the ones I'm looking forward to coming out and playing. And I'm hoping at some point they get a Duke Nukem game or something, because I love playing Duke games. But I'm happy with just them keep giving games out, keep getting the stuff on the platform. That's what it's all. That's enough for me.
Okay. See, with me, I'm excited for Mass Effect when that comes out. Then on Stadia, Judgment, and hopefully Resident Evil 8 comes out on Stadia as well.
Yeah.
If not,
I know when MLB The Show comes out for PlayStation, it will also be coming out for Xbox.
Right.
So, and that, you tell me that like a year or two ago, I would never have believed you. There's no way. I'd been like, no way that Sony's releasing the Death Grip licensing hold that they've had on the show since the very beginning.
I might just pick it up on Xbox because it's a historical event.
Yeah, I'm just like, you know what? The fact that it's on Xbox means that there's hope for Stadia at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's like, well, Stadia's never going to get that. I'm like, yeah, but look at the Nintendo Switch. Nobody thought that the Nintendo Switch was going to get, NBA games, or Madden's coming to the Switch next year. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, Stadia's got Madden. Stadia's got, I'm betting that when Madden 22 comes out, it'll be on Stadia. And I bet you 10-1 that Stadia is going to get that EA college football game as well that they're working on.
Yeah, I just think the only thing just needed to learn how to develop on there.
The only thing EA needs to give us is NBA Live. Come on, EA, get your shit together. I want NBA Live brought back. They need that, but they also need to bring out, put NHL and give us a Need for Speed. I could do without the Need for Speed, but if you at least give me a UFC fight game or an MMA or something that's similar to wrestling, and you give me a hockey game, I'm good. I'll be sold.
Okay. So you're just really anticipating some of the sports games that are coming out.
I would like the sports games. I'm just like, at this, I've been dabbling in a lot of different things on Stadia. That's one thing I love about Stadia is with all these new games and things that come out, I get to try different stuff, especially when I test it out to do a first run and what my thoughts are on these games. And I've had fun with games that I don't think I ever would have played before. Oh man, I can't even think of all of them on Stadia off the top of my head. There's a lot of those games. Yeah, there's a lot that I would have never played outside of Stadia in the past, and it's fun to be able to just test these things out nowadays. Red Dead was one of those that I would play, but there's games, the Tomb Raider games, Monster Truck. I love Monster Trucks. I mean, who doesn't? So, that's one. I bought Wolfenstein when it came out because I love Wolfenstein games. I bought and I live streamed SpongeBob SquarePants, and just because it's SpongeBob, I'm like, my kids will play it. Plus, it's why the hell not? It's something different that you would normally not think that I would play.
Yeah. So, chat, what games are you guys anticipating? Just put that in the chat before we head out.
Submerged is a good one. I played that, and I was surprised that I actually liked that one. So, as much as I did, that was a really good game, and that is a prime example of something that most people would not think that I would play, and I had fun with it.
Okay, that's good. So you're gonna have plenty of content when those games come out.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
yep.
So before we head out,
so much for Stadia to do.
Yep. So before we head out, I am actively looking for SBCN streamers to be on the show. So if you're an SBN streamer, feel free to slide in my DMs on Discord. Add me as a friend. My name on Discord is GMillion. I believe it's GMillion or GMillion2112. It's one of those two. It's me and my mullet. So go ahead and add me on there, and I'll get you on the show. I think Jeff might want to come on next week, so no guarantees yet. So that's going to be good because I was told he's really into the retro games, and I want to keep the retro conversation going. So thank you guys for showing up. And any last words before we head out?
Just keep enjoying Stadia. It was a fun ride to start. It's gonna be a fun ride as we keep going on and the platform keeps growing.
Yep. And subscribe to both of our channels. He is Stadia Vet Gaming, and I'm GMillion Plays. And my other channel is just GMillion. So I got two channels. And we are out. See